דרך שאתה מעלה, when you give up more, לגוי, הרי זה also. כוסו התייסס, the לאו דווקא אומר לי ואני אלה לכו. It's לאו דווקא that he says, the second Jew tells the first Jew, I will pay you. אלא אפילו אומר לו ואני אלה לגוי, even though the second Jew says, you know what? I will pay the goy, I don't pay you the ribis. I'll pay the goy the ribis. Lend me the 10, and I'll pay the goy the ribis you owe him. Kevan mischara alvo noisen lagoy. Since it's a payment of the loan, agar nosa. Al pi Yisrael, upon the words of Israel, arei this is like kemishanosa la Yisrael, as if he gave that ribis to a Jew, and you were shliach of a Jew to give it to the goy. Again, no chamol is in Yiddish, again, even if he didn't tell him, I'll pay you the ribis. He says, the ribis I'll pay directly to the goy. Still you're not allowed, because since he borrowed from a Jew and he's giving back the payment of the loan to the Jew, the ribis that he's giving the goy is as if he's saying, I'm going to be your shliach to pay it to the goy. And we learn by Orev, Taisha says, Midin Orev. It's as if he gave to the Jew from Din Orev. Kemoi, 10 mon in Ploini, like we see in our Gemara, give 100 Jews to Ploini, Vekadesh Anilocho marry you. The Mekudesh Din Orev. So, Kemishanosa la Yisrael, Kemishanosa la Isha. So we see from Toisves that Toisves holds like Rashi, Rosh, all the other Rishonim, Ramban, as we saw the Pri Yeshua, that as if the Orev received the money and the Malvi is a messenger of the Orev to give to the Orev. So by Ribis, it's Ribis, and by us, it's Mekudeshes. Vechen kosa matur beyoredez ze l'shoim. So we have a Toisves that says, Kemisha nosa la Yisrael. We have the Ramban, Mamoino Shokol Minei, the Pshat Rashi. אבל אני שואל רגע, זה כן כוס הבטור ביודע, זה לשואל. ואפילו אין עמל וחייב לגוי כלום. The Tur says that even if the lender is not chayev to the goy anything, הרי זה ריביס קצוצו, kloima, which means, the mafkir minei, we take out the ribis. My dayoiv legoyim, we give it because ribis ktsutzo yoytze bedayonim. They take out by judges. וכן כוסף לו מהר"ם בעדיה, הביא מרדכי שם פירקין זה לשוין. וגדולים מזו. ואפילו ראובן, even Reuven, או אומר לשמעון מוספין לך 4 זוזי. Even Reuven tells that Shimon, I'm going to lend you 4 zuz, על מנת שתיתן זוזך ללוי, in order we give על מנת. The word על מנת means in order. That you will give 1 zuz to Levi, ההוא זוזי יסייר מפקיר מראובן. That extra zuz he take out from Reuven. Again, Reuven is the malve. Told Shimon, I'm lending you 4 zuz if you give Levi 1 zuz. So that zuz that Levi got, he take away from Reuven. Why? Shimon says, I'll pay you back 4, but I'm going to give me back the extra zuz I gave Levi. You have to give me it back, because really I gave it to you. But you know as if you got it. That's what he says. Ahusha saying, Reuven came in the Yehusay. He's the lender. But Kotatzimo, and he cut with him. So what do we see from this? Is mamish the guzuz itself? It's not a notion of pruto of keras ruach and all those stories. No, it's the money itself came to him, and I could take that money out. So I could go with judges and take it out of it. Atkan leshon, atkan. Avol yesh li lehovi bedivreim. Comes the Machne Ephraim says, I need to understand in the words. The Mashe Kosa, what he wrote. The Mashe Nosan Lagoel Pidiburoi, whatever he gave the Goy upon his words. Yes. What Toys is saying. The Mashe Kosa. The Mashe Nosan Lagoel Pidiburoi, whatever he gave the Goy upon his words. Choshin, Toys says, I consider it. as if he received that money, and if it was Ribis Ksut, he can take it out. They made a similarity. Toisves. The Jew number 2 gave the goy the zuz of Ribis, and is considered as if he gave it to the Jew. You have 2 Jews. Jew number 1 borrowed the money from a goy with Ribis. Jew number 2 borrowed the money, and he pays the Ribis to the goy.
Borrowed money from the
goy.
Again, who's the
Reuven borrowed 10 zuz from the goy with condition to give 12 zuz Ribis. Shimon borrows that money from Reuven. He says, I'll pay you the 2 zuz, I'll pay the goy the 2 zuz. As we consider it as if that the 2 zuz that Shimon gives the goy is as if he's a shliach of Reuven. He gave it to Reuven. And he's taking that money as Ribis Ksuta and Yoitze Bedayonim. He can say later on he did tshuva, and I want that 2 zuz back from the Jew. Shimon gives it from Reuven. What? Who violated? Everybody. Mal veloy ve'edim arevim shtar eda shtar. Correct.
So then, Wayne violated interest. He's giving it to God. So why is it interest?
What's the interest? What's the reason?
No, it's Shimon lending money. Since Shimon is a messenger of Reuven, so he gave Reuven the Ribis. Borrowed 10 and he gave him 12. Correct.
So we gave the God interest in this.
Correct.
He's giving.
Like the Rashbam says, he's a shliach. The Orev is a shliach of the Malvin.
Even though the God is bad.
The Orev in Ansha. The Malvin is a shliach of the Orev. Good. Jew number 2 is giving really back the Ribis to Jew number 1, and conceptually, and he's now a shliach to give it to the goy. That's another shayla. Why that's a separate thing he's giving to the goy as a shliach. But Lamais, he gave it back to Reuven. It's a correct.
And the guy, the Reuven, the second guy, Shimon is like, it's kind of like a operator. Doing shlichus of.
It's like
No,
Shimon,
Jew number 1 is like the Orev.
it's like Shimon asking the money from Reuven Ribis.
And Jew number 2 is the Malvin that is giving the money back to the Orev, and he's a messenger of the Orev to give it to the Goy. To the Goy. What?
How big is the only thing to hurt it?
It doesn't matter. The same idea. The idea is I'm becoming his messenger. I flip it as if I give it to him, I give it, and I'm his messenger.
It's like if Shimon is asking Ribis from Reuven, and I got from Reuven, I want to give back the Ribis.
Yes. Yes.
Instead of the goy. Like Shimon now is instead of the goy.
Shimon is Reuven is the balabai, as if, although the money belongs to the Goy.
Yeah.
But he lent it to the Jew. Now Shimon borrowed from Reuven that money, and he's giving it back. Ribis on that money through paying it to a third party upon his wish, upon his words, as if he got it.
And the history is both, like the Malvin Ribis and Matzah Ribis. Both of them are having the history of Reuven and Shimon.
Always, when you have Alvo Beribis, the Malvin and Loive both always.
So in this case,
Malvin, Loive, Eidim, Eida, Shtar, Orev, everybody's Oive. That's you have to run away from it. Everybody's involved, they're part of the sin. So he says, Vedimu oisoy leten mona leploinim mikudeshes. You know, the mashma also. Mai da'av mikudeshes, ainu mushub dechoshiv ki'ilu yigia oisamon leyon. That's all. We see from the Toisves, and from the two, and from the Maharam, and we can add the list, from the Rashbam and Mobasa, and from Rashi in our Sugya. It says, boy, what? Rashi says, boy. V'cheli al mamoino. He says, v'cheli mamoino. He says, if he gave, he says, here, give money to Ploini v'sodi mechugol boy. What does boy mean? With the money. Again, Rashi says, v'cheli al mamoino, that what? That if Reuven is the moicher, tells the Levi, which is the buyer, He says, give 100 Jews to Levi, Reuben and Shimon. Reuben tells Shimon, Reuben is the seller, Shimon is the buyer. Reuben tells Shimon, give 100 Jews to Levi. And with that money you're going to give, that's the money of the selling. Boy. So you see from the Rashi, like the two, and like Toysus. By us, good. Yes. כאילו הגיע someone ליודו.
The only thing he did is something called
Boy, it's not an side thing, it's miskadish with the money. There's a chiyas with the money itself. That would I know. Not like the eat would I know. Mamish with the thing itself. What? Now we have the Rosh. Velani uzdaiti suga the shmaisi nosom loy mashmoch. Comes the Birkash, the Machne Ephraim, and he says, our Sugya Navzain, if you look at Rashi, is not like the Rosh and Toises and the Tur and the Maram. Why? The Masik Sham, the Gemara that concludes, Omarore, the Chel Inga Mamoin, the same thing as my money. Betzricha, not only and Evet Knaini with Shneim by Yisho works, also by money. You can sell land with Orev, you can sell land with Evet Knaini with Shneim. Betzricha and both are needed. The Chidush of Rove by Kiddushin and the price that the Chelim Amoino. Diashvun Kiddushin, Shum Da'isa Senicha Bekodu. A woman is happy with everything. Great as well, but I can't, but my money now. He's a curse one. I just, Nichel and Bekodu is comfortable with everything. Right? The Lord Matiano. Here's the word we should listen to, but we should Da'isa Senicha Bekodu.
She gets something.
So he brings Rashi. He opens Rashi. Like the Ritro. מאוד לא הרבה time משום דחושב כאילו הגיע יסומון לא יודו. The reason not as if the money itself came to him. ומה ידעה מקודשת? You know why she's מקודשת? היינו בואי סענו דיו יבוני הפומו, without pleasure that he gave money upon her mouth, he listened to her, דאוי סענו שווה פרוט וריפיר שריתו. We'll see soon in a second. So he's learning in Rashi, that Rashi is not like Toises tu Maram Rosh, Ramban. He's learning that Rashi learns like the Ritva, that the Kiddushin by Orev is only by Anor, not with a full money. The problem is, he only, this is a big shaila I have, it's a shaila I had for a long time, that Machne Ephraim quote only half of Rashi. Open the Rashi. Siyata Dishmaya, I have a big shaila, if somebody can answer me that, I want to hear. Rashi, he only quote half Rashi. The Machne Ephraim quote only half, and the first half, you see clearly not like what he learns. Let's see. No. Let's inside. No. Says other words. Let's see. It's comfortable for the woman to be acquired, but Koldu. So Rashi says 7 words, and he only quoted 4 words. He cut the first 3 words. Let's see the first 3 words. Nichal Stikis Bekoldu, Bekitan Kosh. Ba'afilu, and even B'Tanasanot Ba'alma. And even B'Tanasanot, he quote, we see what? That's after B'Tanasanot Ba'alma. He says, Bekitan Kosh, B'Tanasanot Ba'alma. From that I understand that Adarabah, he that the king is with Dibur. If I talk and somebody did a mice upon my words, it's kingdom bedibo, kingdom bekolshu. The afilu to remove the samach. That's what I learned. That's what I'm learning. The afilu means to remove a samach. Like the Rashbam says about us. She's before that. might just the but they're feeling kiddush in the it's gonna be tell a kesef al-proini, the sodi mechupati. So we see from Rashi that the mechira is what with the money. With the, so by definition, when he says mechira koldu is with the money. The kid is been done with mechira koldu. Now filo be the sanos be alma removes the asmachta. It's really tibo. And then tibo is marketed the money itself. Like the sure, like the Ramban and I support the Ramban learns like this in Rashi. Now more than Kashon Komide. And the Fcheta Mudbetz. This is, but forget about my pshat. I have a problem with the Machne Ephraim. Machne Ephraim quotes Rashi halfway. He quotes Rashi, and he says, 1 second, Upiyash Rashi, I want to explain, 1 second. He learned, the Machne Ephraim learned. I want to say, Ve'afilu Tevasano, what does Ve'afilu? Means 2 options. Kill and Koldu, Tevasano alone. So since it can be a Tevasano alone, 1 second, Ve'afilu, what? Stick, apostrophe, whatever it's called in English. And then he says, Ve'afilu Tevasano means even that alone. So he learns like the Ritva. But we see from the Rashi before it's not so. Ve'afilu is not a separate thing. It's the Kill and Koldu, yes.
That yesterday somebody said that he learned the difference.
That one is Pruta that you give Matthias. How?
He said, because you have Kenyan, plus you have a school, no, you have both.
Who said you have both? Because
The Pruta makes is Kenyan. It works as a Kenyan. It's not just a note sense. It's something else. It works like a Kenyan. Yes.
I feel about one second. Let's answer what you're saying. I'm listening to what you're saying. When it says I feel the Kenyan Koshu of Gabriel. One says, let's go back. I feel the Kenyan Koldu. What does Kenyan Koldu? Kenyan Koldu means water. But I feel the Masano is saying the same thing twice. I understand that Kinam Koldu means Dibu. I feel the Masano, yes.
You say a different thing. Say a different thing.
What?
You say a different a different reason why this I know a different rule on that notice. Not exactly. Even Rosh Yeshiva was working on that. This was a different reason. Rosh Yeshiva was working on that.
I don't follow what you're saying. You want to say Pshat and Rashi? What is your Pshat? I don't get me clear. My Kashi is that he quotes Rashi like the Ritva. When you read the Rashi brings 2 things. He says, he says, what's the language? He is called the who? The Afilu B'Temasano. What? What's Kill called to mean? Uta. She's saying the same thing twice. But Afilu called it. What does the call do? The call was the Puta. Those people. Right?
Not only that.
But continue on. Afilu bekinim koldu v'afilu b'temasano be'alma. Saying the same thing twice.
I don't need to say them both.
All mixed up. Listen to me. It's not temasano. It's 2 different things. Explaining Rashi. Rashi says, "Va'afilu bekinim koldu va'afilu b'temasano." It's the language. Let's read it exactly. 1 second. I want to have it in front of me. She's as comfortable for her to be acquired bekoldu. What is the koldu? Bekinyan koldu. The kinyan is koldu. So what does bekinyan koldu?
Because it's not much in a place that was annoyed. So wait. Please. There is a big hidden.
Yes.
Because money, brutto, mammon achloizer. Because annoyed, mammon shein achloizer.
Good. Let's go with it. But is it kinyan or not?
Not exactly kinyan. Why is that feeling? Is more or less. I said, if kinyan is deep, why I feel has to be, I feel there's about feeling to us is more, not actually said people are not as more.
Kinyan.
It says,
yes. Nikol your sneakers bekoldu bekinyan koldu. Ba'afilu b'teva sanoy ba'alma. No, mashma that kinyan and toiv is two different things. Kinyan is dibur alone. Kinyan koldu means I don't know, not a maise, without a maise, just dibur alone. And how the dibur alone works. I feel there's a no and even there's a no it doesn't work. Right? So it's mashma like the Rashbam, and like he says before. Kinyan koldu means dibur, and dibur is mechayim the whole money. I can mischai b'dibur, or teva sanoy ba'alma. Even though it's only teva sanoy ba'alma, dibur with teva sanoy ba'alma works, and it works for the whole thing is mine. That's a pashas. What?
He wants to make the king. Why is that feeling? Why is that feeling? That feeling, don't say that feeling, say the same thing. But there was no man, I have to say a feeling. No, it's less. Yeah, but I have to say a feeling. That's why it's a feeling. That's exactly like the more or less. That's exactly like the big for. This is so I feel. But it's different from all. No, so say kilo nothing good. Yeah, even. That this itself can this works for it as a king. That this is balance of things exactly like the big for said. Try to get through. So I think that's his logic. Not only this is gets it, but this which is even this which is not.
What does the kinyan koldu? Is the noise that makes the kinyan? Or kinyan is kinyan koldu? Because dibur, and how dibur works. I feel teva sanoy. Why is mischai? Because teva sanoy there. I don't know. The word ba'afilu b'teva sanoy ba'alma. That's what where the birkas, what's his name? Machne Ephraim, we see from Rashi that the kinyan is teva sanoy. So what does kinyan koldu? Be'alma is teva sanoy be'alma, but the koldu goes on be'alma. That since there's just be'alma, that's called kinyan koldu. That's the be'alma. There's mashma two different things. Bekinyan kolshu va'afilu b'teva sanoy be'alma. What is the word afilu? Should be bekinyan koldu b'teva sanoy be'alma. What is the afilu?
Yeah.
You have two avenues. Of one avenue, kinyan koldu dibur, and another avenue, teva sanoy. So that's true. So you see the Rashi holds also like the Ritva. Rashi says two ways, two avenues. Kinyan koldu with words, I got the money itself. Or you have also teva sanoy be'alma, that also should work. Rashi. Rashi says the koldu bekinyan kolshu ve'afilu. What does afilu means? Even there's two things. There's two ways that you can acquire. You can acquire. One is bekinyan koldu ve'afilu, and even the teva sanoy eating. So what is he saying?
There exists Titus and Noah here, and there exists a Kenyan here. A Kenyan called the white first.
Very good. That's my understanding. My understanding is that you have both. You have even called the people down. So as if you got the whole money, and you also have a teva sanoy. So comes to my he says, see from Rashi, Although Rashi holds the king is body, which means the king is the money itself, but Rashi holds that the Ritva is also true. Because I have also Tevasano works. The moment it works, the Kiddushin too. Rashi, yeah. That's his raya. Mashma meho. The Lord of the time should have. Action, they don't need a even shell called it. Manipulation is another option. I don't It's just two avenues. I'm answering now. I'm just going to give an answer. The really is actually not saying one or the other. I learned what Rashi says kin and koldu means dibur, and afilu tevasano ba'ala means the tevasano just removes asma. Came Rabbi Yosef Chaim and he said, I need to remove asmachta by a suffix. There's no options. I'm cutting right now. I'm saying I want to sell with this. There's no fake is that I won't enter it with a sofa. I don't need to remove any asmachta. I want it. I want to sell. I want the kiddush. There's no asmachta here. So you can't say about afilu tevasano ba'ala means to remove the asmachta. I don't need that. So what is that afilu? Must be from that if I'm understood that really I have two avenues. I have one avenue, like he said before, Pari. Afilu nikres bekolshu bekoldu means bekinyan koldu dibu. Afilu not only I can sell the land with kinyan dibu, but afilu tevasano ba'ala even now I can sell. So we see that he also holds like the Ritva. וכן פירש לו הריטבו שם. I answer it. I'm answering that although Rashi says with the money itself, but he held you could make Kaddish also with the put. You don't need the money itself. You have the money itself, and you also have you can have both. That mean switching two things. That's how I'm going to read Rashi. Otherwise, what does Rashi say? Rashi before says boy. I'm not taking the Machnefayim. I'm solving the Machnefayim. Right? It does. One second. Before Ibis, he says, from Yuksuga to Shemaisin Lomash Mochi. So Rashi says that I don't have to come on. It's as if the money came into itself, the kiddush is through the money itself, rather through the amor. So although Rashi said both, we have a ritva that says only that. And once we have a ritva that says only that, Rashi says both. And ritva is only that. So Mele, by Ribis, according to those who hold as the amor, so then I don't have Ribis, only have the Ribis and the amor, not the full one. וכן פירש לו הריטבו שם אורם למה אבל גב דלומותי ענו ליודו משתה בפירוש למה למיימר דלומותי לישום ענו doesn't mean to say any ענו came there אם כן מה משתה בן הוא משתה אלא לא אומר rather to say אגב דלומותי ענו עצמו even on the pleasure of the money itself שאו יציע המלווה that the lender spend out ולא הגיע ליודו שלו we didn't come to the hands of the עורב לא כסף לשווה כסף not money not שווה כסף אפילו אוכל משתה even though so is משתה La the matile is we started for the pleasure that comes to him. But Meshil velozeh alemunosa when he lend money on his belief. Da no bechol duch to chashim kesef. Pleasure in all places considered money. Ochenami here also. So he says, "I'll have the loy matile am no asmoes." So it's a mav level the other shlomo lekesef kesef. So he says clearly. No money, not shvekes, came to his hands. Filoch mishtabed le b'masho ilvol zalmu nosoi. That I'm called Oshul Kesef. Chenam Yagav the Limati liyodei anoas mone atzmoi bekan enough shebeyanod shebeputo. Even though the money itself, the pleasure of the money itself, he didn't get. But it's bekan enough shebeputo. The young man primitive. Okay. Rashi has to be both. The Ritva says only one thing. If it's not learning is both, have a big shyness. What's Rashi saying? You only quoted half Rashi. So then we have a big problem. As he learned about Filim Masano, when the Rashi right before that says Be'anor Kinin Koldu. About Filim even. But he says Kinin Koldu. Kinin Koldu is with words alone and the money itself came in. Like Rashi said before, boy, he's coining with the whole thing. I have a big problem with Rashi. So I'm doiche. The Machne Ephraim says is wrong. That we see from Rashi that really both. Itself. I always had a problem. That's when we started the sugya. We started the sugya by asking one way or the other. He says, that was last week, Shil Klali. He says, Lemais, if I have all of them, why I cannot use all of them? I was on Kivei at the time of Keminas. If is that no Pruto, so if I told him 10 Pruto Leploini, so then the woman didn't get Pruto because I know of giving a Pruto is, I'm not going to pay a Pruto for someone to give a loan a Pruto. I'll give them a Pruto to him. So if I said, listen to me, give a Pruto to Ploini, then I know that I get is not Pruto, it's less, right? It's always less. So Nafkamina is, Temem Ploini, if says money, you're right. So, but if you give Pruto Ploini, so So true, always you have no, you have no Pruto, the whole, but why the Hitler said with the Pruto? Because not always you have money. Sorry. One, she said the money itself, not always you have Pruto. But one that says the money itself, or Toy says the money itself, it's coming to them, you know him. You have a Pruto, like the Hitler. And that's something you have a problem. We see from Rashi, you have, if I'm right in Rashi, Rashi is all through, he says the money itself. Midin Orev is the money itself. Mischayev, the beginning, Orev, the whole margin. Shas Kiddushin, she changes the Bitul Achoiv to the Kiddushin. Okay, with the whole money itself. She got the whole money itself. Okay. But since she also got Shove Pruto Avano, listening to her, why you cannot Mekadesh her with that? So you could say, no, you could, but simply when she says Temon Leploini, we start her dance is to give the whole Choy, the whole Choy, and you can put it all. With that you can do both. Those are words that places on holds that as if I got the money itself. It doesn't have to argue that no Shapu doesn't exist. It exists. And if it exists, you could be cash with it. What? The other one is more important. That's one option. The other option is no. You take Shmuel Rozovsky. You say, no, the Anosh of the Pruto is not Smusa is not money. It's not the kind of tomorrow. It can have to be a small. That's why it's not really a no that you can be Kaddish. So you need to come on, keep beyond the money itself. Capish? The problems that Reb Shmuel Rozovsky brings to Rit when he's trying to answer, those problems, the problem said the money itself and not the I'm not sure. There's a problem that kind of know. It's not a normal law. It's not a law that is misguided to move, etc. No, that would say stop. But we see from Rashi, the Rashi says both. Rashi says Vafilu. And we just see that. Some of that was he does all the smaller that he summers and I know that's Musa. So, when the money Leploni is like, if she says, not 10 money Leploni, the loan, the Kaddish. So by Mechor, I don't know how I got the money. So Mechila Kivega says. Such a case, the only way Mekadesh would tell us I know. So I have cases sometimes only I know works and not the money. And I have case where the money works And the Arno doesn't work because if it's only a Pruto, so then the Arno is less.
So why Robert didn't explain that case?
But we see from Rashi that both are true. That's what we got from Rashi. We got, if the way we learn the Rashi, we have a problem with having does learn the that Rashi saying only one thing.
Last time that the Toiva Sanoe activates the Shlichus and the money is finish save the problem of that it's Momonachoizer.
Yes, that's the Shulosovsky.
So maybe according to Rashi we need both. It's not or this or this.
Yes, or
because if it's just Toiva Sanoe, it's not enough.
Explain why you cannot say you need both. Because there's a filu. The word afilu means not only kin koldu, even with tevasano. So mashma that you want, there's two options. The word, if it say kin koldu be'anos betevasano be'alme be', that's the kin koldu betevasano be'alme. You're right. It's both. He says ve'afilu is mashma even with another way, another avenue. Yes, could be that true. Yes.
It's not. That's not the Gideon.
I mean, there's no know. Yes.
So why?
It's hard in the language, very hard. And I don't know. I brought a guy from Rashi before. Boy, it's mashma the thing itself. So you have to say it's both, but to say only that is very hard in Rashi. What? Well, it's the word boy. Boy is the thing itself, the money itself. That Tevasano is very little. It's not boy. He says, "Sodi mit 10 money leploni v'sodi mechula boy." What is boy with the 10 money? Leploni. Not with our no of Shavapruto. Boy means the full money. That's the word boy means. It's a very hard kash. So therefore, I don't know this is not going to find. It's very hard for me.
If in the case mechol, it works.
Yes. What again? Yes.
It works just.
Oh, in the case of Mechol, the only way to work is only because there's no money. It's giving. What's giving?
That case, it's a big huge, and we will learn also Polshaken when it's she received the money.
Again?
Why Robert didn't teach that case? That the huge is that even Toimasano work. Now we're confusing it because it can be Rashi. What is the common of Rashi? Both, not both. If Robert will.
The way we're going to learn now in Rashi, that when the Robert says terminal employee, it's one of the ways. You can say, no, you can say, Mechol monel employee, the Kaddish Mechol, Kudesh,
it's a big huge, and then we don't have the problems of what the Kabbalah and Rashi.
Rashi says both. Both can be. Because always you have both. You have Ano of listening to me. You have Ano, and you have the money itself. But we answer it. When the woman says, "Terminal on the floor," normally your dad says in the whole money or and the puto. When she didn't specify, she says, "Terminal on the floor," what is her money? Simple. So the card is the whole money. Which is the whole. If you want to own it, you have to specify. Because it's there. So the Rashi had to explain the simplicity. Robert went to the simplicity in the words. But in Hanami, we say Mechol Manal Ploini, or she said, I want to make college with the Tomasano. It's there.
But we
by it's there. It's there.
That it depends. The case of the Kizun Davzain is talking maybe not in Alboe,
right?
Not in Matonis.
That's what's our option. That's in the Ritva. That's in the Ritva. That's in the Ritva. We answered steer in the Ritva. We had a steer in the Ritva. One place in the Ritva says the money itself, like Rashi, or like the Rishonim, like Toisves. The other place in the Ritva says, I know. So we answered, if it's a maton, is the whole money, because that's the anos shimush of the money. When he says anos toivas ano, only pruto when it's alvo, just risk the money. That's how we answer. It says 10 money employee. The Ritva says lo ishno 10 maton, lo ishno alvo. So by alvo, then it turns to ano. By the shimush of the whole money. That's how we answer Stephen Rashi. Not like the Shmulozovsky and others. We'll see. Okay, let's continue on. וכן פירש לא הריט ראשה, או רב הפלגה, דלא יבואתי עלו לראות לו עם משתמע, או גם זה משתמע, פירוש. What? Let's continue on. וכן גם כן מדברי הרמב"ם ז"ל, הלכו אישישו שכוסף זה לשון. האיש או שאומרו תדינו לפלויני וקרא שלא יכול מקודד, ונוצר לא אמר לו. הרמב"ם קורא לי בנועס מתון הזו, שנוסעתי על פיק. הנה הרמב"ם קודש אצלי במונה, בנועס מונה. בנועס מתון הזו שאתה על פיק, איזה קודש? חשי כדי הרמב"ם continues. אף על פי שלא הגיע ליודו כלום, even though it come to him nothing, הרי נהן הסביר צוינו שנעשה, she enjoys the pleasure that her will is being done, ונהן פלויני בגלולו. So always when I was a young boy, in the yeshiva, and I wrote my book, why the Rambam says, ונהן with a vav? As much as two heftzes of anos. One is, הרי נהן הסביר צוינו שנעשה, ואין נהן פלויני בגלולו. It's not that they know that somebody enjoyed. It's not one thing. It's not one hefza. That when my wish is being done through this guy enjoying it. So that's what I got. He's not saying that. It says, her, she enjoys with a will that is being done. And then really enjoy it because of her. Two things. You know what's two things? That her will is being done, that's how shimush. And then it says Koyasuach. So what is that for? Has to be shared. Has to be shared. You know the word sheen? Sheen. Shenene, but it's not shenene, but you know. You don't have to go vav. Don't say vav. Say sheen. Sheen. That was my question. I was a young man. Why should it be sheen, not vav? I don't know. I know normal Hebrew grammar. Sha'arenen is birtzona she'nase. He says she before. Arenen is birtzona she'nase. Shenene ploini b'glory. He didn't say that. It says it's a hefza on its own. Hey, we're not blind anymore. We want to know what's the best shot. I search when I learn. 1 second. I want to explain you. What's my goal, my learning? It's very important. I think that's a goal. Should be everyone. I'm not Meshua with the Birka Shmuel, with the Machne Ephraim. I'm Meshua. I need Meshua myself. And then what? Exactly. That's the point. Then after you see, he said, "This is my best understanding." You see somebody else says, "Not like you." She said, "Must be I'm mistaken." Well, otherwise, but I mistake because why the Birka Shmuel didn't say that? Why did Machne Ephraim didn't say like me? I like a Rashi. He learns in Rashi in a way, but why? It doesn't make sense. I have a kasha. I stay with a kasha on myself. I have a kasha on him. Kasha on myself, I don't understand. So I'm thinking about the svara from the text. If I'm abstract, I have a lot of svaras. If I learn now the Gemara, I want to know why svaras. I have a lot of svaras. I want to know what the Rambam help. Sha'arei nenis birtzoi she'nase has been done. ונהנה פלוינים בו, לא אמרנו מדברו. ומה שנוסע לא יספלוינים לא יחוש כאילו הגיע ליום. They learned to know. I don't know. Let's see. Another two you can tell me about even. We don't know yet. Let's see. I don't know. Let's see. It defines. לא אמרנו מדברו. The Masha Nosan lo Ploini, when he gave that Ploini, it's not considered as if he received her hand. So it definitely eliminates Toises in the Tur in the Maram. Eliminates that. Lo Choshim Kilu Gilu Yodo. Lo Chitzur Kshiyomer Lo, Arel Shebe'anos Maton. It's not the that is Be'anos Maton Azu, Shalosati Al Pich. What's that noise? Maton is very big. Like Serotzoy, That I don't know. Not clear to me. Not clear to me. Okay, we'll stop here. Zrat Hashem will continue on in the Shukron Mechne Ephraim. And I want to do the Chazon Ish. Those two things I want to do. I want to do Mechne Ephraim and the Chazon Ish, and a little bit the Gris. The Gris, the letter of the Gris. What? What? Yeah, it's the same thing. I think it's the same. Yeah, I understand the same. What do you want to say about
how to learn
yes.
the name of somebody? That's what was explaining right now to him.
Yes.
That the Rosh Yeshiva Zatzal says that.
Oh, he said that's the way of learning. Yeah. When you learn also the Kaftan Ton, he says when you read Rashi, what I would say without Rashi. If Rashi said, why he didn't say like me? What is Chiddush? Mitzvah Kaftan was a student of the Ramban. And he wrote, how do you learn Rashi? He says, how do you learn Rashi? I don't know Ramban. You mean, what I would say without him? Without him, what I would say. And then, doesn't say like me. So why he said like me? Must be I'm wrong. That's the way to learn. You have to learn. What I read on myself, the one that Mechne Ephraim says. If you don't say like me, why do you don't like me? Sometimes I'm stuck. I don't know the answer. Gosh. I'm stubborn with my idea because I don't understand. I think he's wrong. I've been, but my search is to understand what the Mechne Ephraim is saying. What is he saying? And the same thing, what the Rambam is saying. Etc. Okay.
One last thing. According to the Rambam, if she says, give a headphones to this guy, and he gets Cheresh, לא מחודשת.
לא מחודשת, yes, לכאורה. ונהנה פלויני בגלולו. One say, what happened if the ploini is a Cheresh? Because the idea is, my words is being done and somebody enjoyed from me. Even though it's a Cheresh or Koton, it should work. It's not like they were shy.
Headphones.
Earphones, not Cheresh.
Headphones, he can't hear. What is Cheresh? Cheresh
can't hear, no. Yeah. He gave him a headphone, he can't hear. I thought that he gave him a headphone. אני חנניה בין הקש להם ולא צריך לשבור ולזק לסדר. יהיו מבטאים שלמנו וזמן צידות לידי. להסקדם שמי רבו. לא תבוא חיפושי וידי כבר מוצאי. היי גולי גוי וחולת רבו בית ישראל. מה גולו וזמן קוראים ליבו
Minha ex-meira.
Tador, excelente salão. שמי לקודשו בריבו, אין אבי כל רוסו ושירוסו ושרוסו ולכרוסו, תראו מהמון ועל תמידיון ותמידי צמידי רואי, ועל כל מנדוס כברורייש, וצריך לשאול עלינו ולעזור לעשה, אין עוד עוד שלומורה, ואפילו בקיס דבר חמי, היי ובין לבגופו, כל הדברים כנראה שלנו, תמורה בו נשמע, חיים עולה, essentially the way I said I'm so that whatever is able. Okay. בוא נראה. דבר בעיתו, מה טוב, בעיתו צריך לבוא.
לא, פתאום קודם בזה, פתאום רש"י ככה. בשתי צדדים.
בוא נשמע מה הוא אומר.
אין צריכים את זה.
שאני צריך להיות.
פשטות הוא שהוא בא להגיד ששנינו. בדיוק.
אין שום דיון במגיש.
לא, זה נכון, צריך להגיד לשתיהם.
שתיהם יכולים לעבוד, והוא לא חולק, הוא לא סולק עם המשמעות זאת שכתבה לעבוד טובה. שתיהם טובים. שתיהם.
אז מסתרד הסתירה רש"י. מסתיר רש"י. I gave you not to.
Because the one of the guys but the thing is that you give the options and none of the options. They're allowed. No, there is no free betting there, and the guy didn't. No, there isn't.
I go now and also about
No, there was someone staying in under the stairs. Someone stayed. His stuff was there, and I asked them. Benjamin said,
Abraham was
there.
there. No, but they want.
No, when I went, there was someone sleeping.
Okay, now it's okay. Now
When I was there, okay, okay. Then one more thing. One more thing.
in the same room you have the machine. You have
Two things, what you said, the exercise. And then I also would probably say, the shape. Other than that, I think that's what. I not go out every day, like I did Sunday or something. I have 2,500 check each month. I pay. I need a room. If there is an apartment, like I don't know, like there, or where the room I was, but it's the, I just want a room. I don't want an apartment. I just want a room. It's only me.
Sure.
morning. Okay. Got a couple of things for you here.